Hi everybody, this is Kids Kitchen Nightmares and your host Colin with Dad, and we got all the stuff here.
Okay, can I start now? Please? Can I get in?
Seriously?
Well done, lad, well done. Okay, my turn, okay?
I'm just gonna sit here until you need me.
Okay, alright. Afternoon everybody, day 2. Today we are making the sauce. Not yet, Tim. The sauce. So, like anything else, this is actually a lot easier to make than the actual pork tenderloin stuffing. It's basically a tomato, fresh tomato reduction with some spices like brown sugar and everything else. We're going to do things a little bit differently this time. What we're going to do is I'm going to go through all the spices like I did yesterday. And after that,
Paprika and sugar.
yeah, we got all sorts going in there, right? And after that, we're going to sort of throw some tunes on. We're going to speed it all up, time-lapse, put the camera up high, and you can watch me run around and you'll get an idea of how to make it. And that's it. So next up, let's look at the spices. Okay, guys. Like any sort of project, construction, software, computing programming like I do, you need to try and I like to get everything out that I'm going to need. So, basically, let's go through the spices here first. Okay, so, I've got 1 cup of brown sugar. I have 4 cardamom pods. I have 1 cinnamon stick that I just kind of broke up with my hand. I don't want to grind it or anything, just because we're going to pull that out later when we strain it. I have a couple of pinches of fennel seed. Not too much fennel because it's a very strong flavor. A couple of pinches of fennel seed. I have a teaspoon of black pepper. I have half a teaspoon of black pepper. Half a teaspoon of ginger powder. I've got about 4 or 5 small fresh mint leaves. These aren't all that fresh. I got a bunch of small bay leaves that's going to go in. See, it's kind of like a palm full, but there's a fair amount going in there. Again, they're going to get pulled out. I've got 1 tablespoon of oregano. I got a teaspoon of salt, and I have a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. So, and my favorite, some cilantro, some fresh cilantro. It adds such a nice flavor. So there's maybe about a tablespoon and a half of cilantro. So now, some of the fresh stuff. So what I've got here is I've got some banana peppers, 2 of them. These are actually from my garden from last year. They've been frozen, so they're just thawing out. I have 1 cooking onion. I've got 2 good-sized cloves of garlic. And I've got a couple of these red chili peppers from my garden. Now, these things will have fire coming out of your hands. After you cut them, make sure you wash your hands. Because if you put your fingers anywhere else or your hands, moving things around, getting comfy, you're going to pay for it. Now, of course, like any one of my recipes, we have 1 cup dark beer. Now, I would prefer to use Guinness. I don't have any Guinness at the moment. They're actually out. What's up with that? So I've used bottled. Alright, so that's 1 cup of beer. It's such a pain. Now, I've got about 5 pounds tomatoes. These happen to be frozen. They're from my garden from last year. It's almost the end of them actually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run these under hot water, kind of like reverse blanching. Skin will come right off. Going to chop them up, put them in the sieve, cook them down. Once they get cooked in here, I'll be just use a standard potato masher. Mash them up a bit. Once that's done, get out your old whacker. You gotta get one of these whackers. These things are awesome. This one's by Braun. So I'll be going in there just to really purify it, make sure it's all creamed out. And then of course I'm going to be using my sieve. I'm going to strain it twice to get any of the seeds or any crap that's too big out. And then we're going to let that simmer for about half an hour. Once it's simmered, I'm going to be putting it in my big 7-quart pan. And then I'll be adding the spices. And I'm actually going to throw this on the barbecue with the lid down at about 200 for about 2 hours to 2.5 hours until it gets down to sort of a nice consistency, the sort of consistency I want. So what we're going to do, a little bit different, is we're actually going to, I'm just going to do all this prep work, you're going to watch it, but we're going to do it in sort of high speed with some music going, and hopefully just watching that in 2 or 3 times speed, you'll get the exact idea of what I'm doing. It's pretty damn easy. So, without further ado, Tim, would you mind cueing the music, please? Can we have something a little more fun?
Sorry.
Alright. And
Take the National Express when your life's in a mess. It'll make you smile. All human life is here, from the feeble old deer to the screaming child. From the student who knows that to have one of those would be suicide. Eternal pride, and everybody sings. Yeah. All right, we're going where the air is free. On the National Express, there's a jolly hostess selling crisps and tea. She'll provide you with drinks and theatrical winks for a sky-high fee. Mini skirts were in style when she danced down the aisle back in '63. But it's hard to get by when your arse is the size of a small country. And everybody sings. Yeah. All right. We're going where the air is tomorrow belongs to me.
When you're sad and feeling blue, with nothing better to do, don't just sit there feeling stressed. Take a trip.
The National Express. On the National Express. Let's go.
man, it's tiring going at 2 times speed. Really takes the wind out of you. So, my sauce is simmered down for about an hour and a half now. The reason I put it in a big pot big pan like this, you get more surface area. So it evaporates a lot quicker. Now, let's give this. Oh! First thing hits your palate, lots of sweet. Tomatoey sweet. And as it goes down, you get that sort of that nice burn on the back of the throat, which is exactly what you want. If you're finding it a bit sweet, you want to cheat a little bit, you can always add in some tomato paste, something like that. So it's 4 o'clock now. Oh God, that's good. Oh. Right. And I'm very pleased because I didn't have to add any spices or change anything. Because sometimes it depends on the amount of water and the tomatoes, you get the right balance and stuff, and sometimes you have to add a little salt or a little sugar or something to cut something down. You know, if it's a little too sugary, you can add a bit of lemon or lime to cut down on the sweetness and bring up sort of the bitter taste. But that's actually worked out actually perfect. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to toss this. I'm going to toss this in a smaller pot, put the lid on, and just keep it warm. Stupid microwave. Just going to toss that in there. Come around this way. There we go. Yeah, splash burn. Right, get in there, you wanker. Right, so that's it for the sauce, folks. Thank you for watching. And as you noticed through the high-speed one, clean as you go, makes life much easier. We're gonna put that lid on, keep it on min, actually on my battery. Just keep that warm. And in about 1 hour, we're gonna start cooking the pork tenderloin and cutting up the vegetables, not vegetables, but the green peppers, the hot pepper, the red pepper, the remainder of that onion, and also the remainder of that green pepper. We used a bit of the stuffing yesterday. And after we cook the pork, we're going to cook those, and well, you'll see. Thanks for joining. It was a lot of fun. Gotta go that way. I hate the camera's always backwards. Cheers, folks. Bye.